Hello and welcome to episode 47 of Let's Talk Tactics. I'm your host, Zach Bro,
Yeah, I'm Dana Boone.
And I'm Luck.
and we have a lot to catch up on, so let's just dive right in. We're gonna start with the Espers, kind of work through instead of doing it by week by week. This time we're gonna do sort of categories, so we'll save the good stuff for last, being the new releases. But yeah, start with Ochu. I actually haven't looked at Ochu yet, so I assume just because of what Esper is, I assume none of us have really done anything with this upgrade.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like
It's
he's
cool to
like
have defense.
he's a magic esper, but like increases defense, so it's kind of cool for an Earth MR esper. But I mean, he gets decent slash res. I don't know. I didn't look at it too much, but I should take another look. I think now that I see it.
Remember, he was kind of cool early in the game because he had like slash res, he had a little bit of magic, the lightning resistance was super relevant. But I think just over time he's kind of just been outclassed by most other options. So there's also like a secondary magic esper if you only had like Shiva or something, or like your Odin was taken up, even when people used that for
Yeah,
magic units.
and it's super obvious that like he's one of the early like espers. Like his cast skill. uh Not really the greatest. It doesn't offer many buffs or
Just a sure hit
it's
AoE,
just
yeah.
like, yeah, here you go. And the agility 11, even at 3 stars, is like, but
I think it might be a decent option on like Summer Elthrel or something to boost up her defense. And it's like she does magic damage and it's also earth type, so it'll help a little bit more to survive against those lightning attackers. So I haven't looked at it until now either, but when I saw that defense and magic, I was like, oh yeah, they're like, who's that defensive magic user that just came out? Summer Elthrel. So
and
Who's that?
you'd always go for like the 15 lightning res on top of slash res, and
mhm.
maybe you can reach the defense. I'm guessing you won't be able to max out all the nodes for 3 because generally like you can have 2 max and then 1 you kind of reach like to the last node but can't get the last one. So it's
Find
like
out.
the last 5% lightning res worth it over 5 defense or 5 slash res.
So you can
Whatever.
do all lightning slash and defense,
Yeah, you can
lightning
do all
res
three
slash
actually.
defense,
Oh, no shit.
and the third magic node, and you still have a couple points left over.
Oh, nice.
Oh, accuracy, you do that, and then one more. Yeah, points are pretty
Not bad, yeah.
abundant for MRs. Maybe is it just like an MR Esper thing? Because yeah, a lot of times you can't do the maxes.
Yeah.
I guess it's kind of like a sub tree though, right? Like it's the
Depends
one that goes
on,
up off of like one of the tens you already have. Hmm.
yeah, so magic, 15% magic, 15 defense, 15 lightning res, 15 slash res. Like,
And just throw 7 accuracy and some Evo on there or something, I guess, for
like
evasion 3.
if you're not hurting for agility, yeah,
That's
maybe this is
not bad,
a
yeah.
alternative for limited cost teams.
That's a big thing, right? It's like limited cost content. I could see this being interesting. And it is nice that it's hybrid attack magic, so even if you don't want the magic percent to, that is actually weird though, because it forces you to go through the magic percent to get to the defense, which is like one of the weirdest progressions I've seen. But
And let's be honest, if you get to the point that you're using an Esper summon, um, shit's gone sideways. So
or you
good
probably
luck.
have a better one next turn.
Yeah.
But
And it's interesting that it's for kind of like a magic based Esper. He's actually it's kind of hybrid, like it's same attack and magic values. I thought
very
it
very
was all
nice
magic.
values. Very
Very nice.
nice.
Very nice.
Had to slide that in there. Yeah. So, you know, better
Fusion
than
resist.
I was thinking on top of or initially, but yeah, the confusion resist is nothing to scoff at. Mainly a PVE thing when you're at that 20% mark, but yeah, Siren is super exciting for me personally. Although I did see some, I don't know if I'd call them arguments or debates or whatever in one of the Discord servers about because it says decrease attack skill activation time.
Yeah.
Actually, might have been on one of our YouTube video last week, or our last podcast, whatever. Where it's attack skills only, so not TP skills, which that would
That's
make sense to me. But somebody
correct.
thought it
Yeah.
was only like attack scaling skills, like so magic stuff wouldn't work. But I don't think that's the case. So things like jumps, I guess. That would seem really wonky to me, especially on a magic-y Esper like this. have you guys been able to confirm or seen conversations about it?
I haven't even bothered trying to confirm. I've just assumed that it's AP spending. Like, I, it's almost like a waste of time for me to be like that. It's only focused on attack skills as a magic esper. Attack
Right.
based skill. Like, I didn't even bother testing, honestly. Locke, how about you?
Yeah, I have not tested.
I'm just gonna go see the comment real quick.
I don't know.
Whole blog.
Like, it's a
Wow.
no brainer that
Calling me out with fail blog. Okay. I level up.
it's a no brainer that it's like an attack skill as an AP spending skill.
I leveled up Siren based on the hype of casting time dropping. It's for attack casting time, aka Ranger Charge, Dragoon Jumps. Won't work for magic cast time reduction. All those water magic sites, lol. Someone said I'm sure it means damaging skills in general. So we'll have to experiment. Wait, so he didn't test. All right, he didn't test it. Calling out Sangre. Come on, man. All right, whatever. Anyway, we're gonna assume it works the logical way, which is that it decreases your attack skill activation time by it's 200 if my math is correct.
Yeah.
So it's like a speed cast passive almost. And I think staff may just have a minus 200. Is that correct? Or one of the class or scholar, one of them has a minus 200. Yeah.
Well, I have something.
Yeah, something like that. Whatever it is, it's sweet, and it I think it opens up some interesting thresholds that you can hit now. Having that additional cast time down, especially, of course, for me, it's always Mish, but
like I mentioned last week, like Aerith's Holy Prayer with the upgrade to 400 casts.
Wait, is Holy Prayer, is that an offense?
Oh, that's a good point. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, so probably not then. Oops.
Well, the other upgrade for it is the water attack up, of course. So, I mean, I think Moore might be able to benefit from it, from her, like, Kodadama skills that have charge times, like the bursting light, something like that. Meanwhile, getting the water attack up. I think those are the only two bonuses, though, right? It's just the side tree for the elemental attack, and then the weird, like, hook on top with the activation. I don't see any other major upgrades. What's that?
The weird hook.
The hook. What? I'm just talking about the shape of it, where it always curls like above the top.
Never thought about that.
Whatever, man. It hooks around like the upper right hex.
Yeah, totally.
Oh man, does it get an extra evocation node? Actually, I think that might be a thing too. I don't know. I kind of wish I could like toggle like before and after, like the different stars to see what you could upgrade. But then I'll complain about in game where, it doesn't show the upgrade, which it does now though. Anyway, yeah. Did you guys work on this Esper at all for any sort of? You both did. Nice. I would like to. I just don't know if I have a Magicite.
I just immediately maxed it. Like, I was like, yeah, this is a no-brainer. Kind of like how the accuracy espers are a no-brainer, or like the man-eater espers, like Odin, Bahamut, Golem. Like, this is like, even if you're not using a water unit, just an esper that has access to decreased attack skill, but decreased activation time is like, yeah, just use it, because I'm sure you're going to be able to benefit from it. Obviously, look into whether the unit can benefit from it, but like, even so I think we calculated that, like, maxing out the water attack nodes and the slash resist nodes, you can only get to the 120 decreased activation time, but even 120 as opposed to like 200 should be helpful, reaching 880 instead of like 1,000, depending on like what skill you're using.
Sure.
Yeah, I've been playing around with it as well. For me, I had like something like 500 of these XL Magicites for water left.
Oh Lord, what?
Yeah, I had extra as well.
So
that's a lot.
I'm missing some elements like fire, but I have a lot of water.
Yeah, I think I'm just doing the split now. Yeah, you can do the activation time and the slash resist, and like after that, you can only go up to the. How many points are you off?
Like, just barely. Like, if there's 4 stars eventually, it's just gonna be like,
wow, it's like 3 more points you could have the water attack up. Thanks, Gummy.
Them's the breaks.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I guess you could do. I guess water attack. Yeah, if you have a water unit. For like Mish, I'd probably do
They just need to come up with a magic pierce type.
Just yeah, right. Magic Pierce, like Miranda and all the other red mages should have been.
Yeah. Then this would be the go-to Esper because of the pierce notes.
Still say red mage auto attacks need to be Pierce instead of Slash, but flavor things. Any particular thoughts about that other than just like worth maxing, unique effect? 19 agility is always good.
Yeah, 19 agility is cool. I don't really think that immobilize is as useful as some of the other status resistances that the other 3-star espers get, but I mean, it helps not being immobilized. Sometimes
Right.
it's inconvenient in the worst way. So yeah, who knows if that's going to be helpful.
I mean, it's like Holy Knight's Purge is a commonly used thing. If you ever against like an Ildira, she might have that. I think there's a Ranger arrow, right? I can't remember who has it that immobilizes.
Garrett, probably. Like her fucking what's it called? Just Shadow Devourer, I think. It does like disable and immobilize. If I remember
Okay.
correctly.
That might be what I'm thinking of. I think yeah, whatever it is. I mean, there's some just random immobilize effects attached. Although there's like a weird lower value to it though, because like although it is very inconvenient and can actually change games in live PvP, if a player has an option to do a move that could immobilize or could do like disable, chances are they're going to gamble on the disable,
Yeah, chances
not
are.
gamble on the immobilize. So it's almost like it doesn't even matter that you have the resist sometimes, unless it's attached to a skill that you're using anyway, like Holy Night Purge.
There's a lot more disable resistances out there nowadays that I have seen. And I'm just for some reason like even fucking Aaron. God, I can't even remember. His Dragon Fang attack, like the immobilize.
That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
That hit in guild battles last night. I was like, I did this recently. I immobilized somebody. What happened? But that's what it was.
Yeah. So it's just like out of nowhere. Sometimes it's just like dang, and like you have to like maybe you don't like people don't really use Ayaka's TMR anymore. So like you don't have Sacred Step to instantly remove like status effects for your instant like SNL.
Yeah, totally. Lock, any last thoughts on the Siren?
Yeah, it's too bad it's just immobilized, but I feel like it's also one of the the hardest things to get otherwise. Like there is gear for disable resist and for stop. There's a lot of units that have stop resist that are coming out. So I mean, it's nice. It could be better, but that's what it is.
Fair. All right, so I think those are the only two espers that have been upgraded in these last couple of weeks. Let's move on to some of the EX upgrades. I'll start with the ice unit, which is Serjes, Serjes, or whatever. I don't know if is there an actual pronunciation that we have heard like through the dialogue.
I'm sure there is. I never paid attention. Normally I pay attention to this kind of thing, but
Serjes,
I just think of
the one that's definitely wrong.
I think we've talked about this before, but I just think of Surge tanking from System of a Down. All right.
Is that Jesus? All right, so upgrade wise, he does not have any additional agility, which is the first thing I always look for like SR and like lower units, even MRs, to try to get them to catch up a little bit. Unfortunately, nothing here. Here, like stat wise, there's really not raising it. Like he has some extra health, which is nice. But like 14 extra attack is not a whole lot at all. I guess 20 on the board as well. So what, 34 total? Just really not impressive stats across the board. But moving into the skills, he does get his Pierce Mastery upgraded from Pierce Attack 15 to the same effect, in addition to having Defense Debuff Resistance 100% or 100 for self, which is good. I feel like there's so many resist downs these days though. Like defense debuff resistance probably isn't the most critical thing to have, but I mean just having it attached is decent. I just feel like I'd be on like Holy Knight's protection plus like Spirit Up or something, like for because he is kind of tanky. But in terms of upgrades for his abilities, his Sharp Spear, which normally is a 38% attack and 38 crit rate, now has those two, and also a 20 point defense and spirit buff for 3 turns, which is pretty substantial. That's That's kind of nice actually. And he is a Lancer, it looks like, right? Lancer, not Dragoon. Yeah, he
Yep.
is. Okay. So I was about to say his EX skill is instant, but they're all instant because he's a Lancers. But he gets kind of like a Glaciela style skill, which is leaping assault. So range 3 with a 4 AoE in every direction, which is nuts. With a chance to slow and grants regen to self. Costs 30 AP, which is pretty steep, but yeah, I mean, I like that ability. It's got a high modifier. There's not a whole lot about him that excites me, to be honest. Like, I'll probably get him up there for Ice Mastery at some point. I EX'd him already, but I haven't like put a lot of resources into him. But yeah, anything I'm like missing that's like clearly good about this guy, or is he just kind of just an EX'd SR that exists? That's the face of I can't think of anything good to say.
I really want to say good stuff, and like I haven't got him to 120 or anything myself yet. But like I don't even want to mention his base agility. And he feels comparable to like one of those kind of paladin units that you can really stack a lot of defense and possibly spirit. But he's just so damn slow. He's gonna get lapped, and like, what are you gonna do? Like double quicken him?
42 agility. Oh, +5 from the board. Good
So
lord.
I mean, I like his upgrades. I think they're very cool. But he's still an SR, you know. So if you can make if you can find a situation or a scenario where like you using SR units uh is like the normal, like if it's for whatever kind of
Election quest, I guess,
like
eventually.
well
Mhm.
either that or like player run tournaments with certain parameters or whatever. um I think you can make him shine as one of the like kind of in the way that Phoebe like is just like the standout star of the SR units. um but it's just very niche in my opinion.
I think one of the worst things about Serjes too is the fact that he is a main job Lancer, because in the main job you have one TP skill, and in the sub job you have no TP skills
Yeah, the
for
AP
Lancer.
starving
And,
aspect to it.
and as a paladin, he doesn't have either Saintly Wall or Immortal Spirit. He gets the Saintly Cross, which is a really cool ability. I love it. The animation's cool. It does a lot of damage, but it's not where I want to be with a paladin sub job. And then the one we all know and love, Cleric, as his third job. He's just got like this weird, like, it's flavorful what his combination of jobs and kind of what he, how he's sort of represented in the story and all that. But it's a it's a steep
Yeah,
place to be. And there is something to be said though to have Asunaga on like this random like tanky unit. Like that's kind of cool. But
yeah, I was tempted to mention that, but I was like, eh.
I mean, an AoE Asuna is pretty good, right? Like I'm that's at least somewhat exciting. But I do love Mana Strike. In PvP, I think two of the most interesting moves, if you're going to be playing a Lancer, are Burst Slash and Mana Strike, and they're both on a sub job. So there's just a lot of combinations of things in the wrong places on him, and I just someday I'll do it, probably for like a stream. Like I'll find the resources for him, but I can't.
Load
I
up the
can't.
damage with all of your ice VC like
He can
URs,
prong staff
URVC.
for damage, right? Because he gets the Ice Spear, which is, I guess, a thing going for him. He has a tool for success.
Yeah, but
And you got a
it's
different damage
striking.
type, and you got 30 ice attack, right? 8 casts. I mean, come on, we're getting there. No, it's really bad. Yeah, interesting, but nothing exciting. I think we'll just move on. I know Daniel, you're kind of excited to talk about this one, so if you want to run through it, we can talk about Fina.
Yeah, so I am very impressed with Fina's upgrades. Not just like on paper, but there's been a few people on the PvP Discord that have like like they recorded videos of her performance, and it's been really cool. Like I believe like JB79 in particular um like commented, he was like, it's great seeing Dwayne and Black Rose Helena get shredded by an MR. And for those of you who haven't seen the videos, like it's impressive what her upgraded like attacks can do, and upgraded in the sense that like her job 25 skill, like skipping straight to that, it's called Sparkle Shower. Um, and it's only
What
like
a name.
yeah, yeah, right. So weird. But and it's only like 165 mod maxed. But it just does like impressive damage.
Well, it's a
Um,
magic missile, right? So
yeah, I
it's
mean, yeah,
pretty
it's magic
insane.
based, and the fact that it reduces accuracy if it hits, like the 43 accuracy down, that's basically like a steel vision, like AOE steel vision. But like I said, if it hits, I think accuracy is still something that Fina suffers from. So you're really gonna want to look for like either Ramu or even Odin, something to stack accuracy on her for. If you're like, she might even miss normal like units that aren't even built for evasion. So um, if you're considering her and you're sick of dark teams, like I'm sure we all are, that's definitely a big concern. So yeah, I skipped right to the job 25 skill, but her upgrades are pretty sweet too. Her Kiraga, which is one of her main job skills, changes to superior healing, and that's an apt name for it. Like it's still the same modifier, like 210, uh, but the fact that it works as like an Esuna at the same time, and the fact that the range increases to like a
Just
burst
saw
range,
that.
it's just like what the shit? What were
That is a
like? It's
giant
insane,
AoE.
and it's not just the range itself, but think about like how the AI takes that into consideration and like in the positioning and everything. Like as a back, like as a ranged support unit, you want to keep her on the back line, and the range of her Kiraga being increased like that is just going to help her stay back even more. Um, consider like if you're using her for in like auto PvP, which like you can use her in arena or even guild battles. Like some of the videos I think were of her being used in guild battles because it was the Mountain Road map, I believe. So yeah, just really impressive. I think she she you know how people say when somebody gets like the short end of the stick, they get shafted basically. Like she got the long end of the stick basically, uh, and the same kind of sense that Phoebe did, in my opinion. She got the she.
Yeah,
I'll just
yeah.
let that
You know what she said.
go. So,
The
anyways,
light units,
um,
of course, right?
so her other X upgrade is her innocent shot passive. Gets upgraded to sacred shot, and that just gives her 20 healing power.
It's like she
So
ascended from the
yeah,
innocent to the sacred.
right. So yeah, just very cool. It really fits the whole theme from FFBE of her being like this innocent white mage who, the power of friendship will prevail, and um, the fact that she's more effective as like a magic archer now is just really, I think, underrated. I don't really know if people have really considered just how powerful she can be. I think stat wise, like I've seen screenshots of her reaching like 1300 plus magic, which is impressive.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
And
that was always the classic thing with Fina was you could use her and you've used her a lot, but her damage output was always
yeah,
pretty poor because you want to scale her off of her magic for all of her supportive skills, but then you're lacking output because she just doesn't have a
yeah,
high attack value. But now that she has a magic scaling, especially instant range missile attack, I mean that's just that was the piece of the puzzle. I feel like
yeah,
that was missing for, and to attach a really relevant effect like that to it is pretty sweet. On top of the other stuff, the healing up and all that. So
yeah. She was always like she was the support gunner before Mustadio showed up.
yeah,
She was like the support gunner before the support gunner came. So like I always ran her on, like I ended up running her on gunner a lot just to have the options for status effects,
hmm
for MR
like
battles or whatever.
your
So
97 faith healer archer lady. Yeah,
exactly. And it's not just about her just like damage upgrades. It's about being a magic archer. Like I just had a guild battle today and I'm running a fire team, and I had my summer Catone run up and just hazard slash like all three of my opponent's units into oblivion. It was a really great moment where, because it was a magic slash attack, like all of their magic resistance was didn't count for nothing. Not to use a double negative, but
Count for nothing.
in the same vein, Fina's magic missile attacks are going to be really useful when people are really just trying to build for like magic resistance or spirit or defense or whatever. And I guess in the same way that like maybe an energist's like a cheese shot or whatever is useful like as a tool in their toolkit. And she's really going to be like I think really going to help Jaden when he comes out really perform well, especially because of her aimed fire buff. So yeah, we'll see how OP that is when that happens.
I think unless you have any thoughts, Locke, move on to Engelbert, which
Well,
I think I recall
yeah.
seeing pictures in JP of having like 15k health. So let's see what he's got.
Well, I mean, just on Fina, I was gonna say that one thing that I'm really interested in using her is like alongside, for example, Cloud, because like I'm thinking of using Cloud and Frederica for obvious reasons because they both complement each other and so on and so on. But if I'm using both of them in like a what is it called, like in a missile, sorry, in a class match scenario, like I might be like up against like these Earth teams, and I'm kind of screwed, right? But if I have her, and she's the one that I used to buff Cloud, because I mean Frederica, a lot of the time she's using to buff Cloud, and now I have two different elements, and like one physical, one magic, and they're both going to deal a lot of damage because that's the setup that I have. That might be interesting. But it's like if I'm gonna run Cloud, it might be like Cloud plus one quickener, and then would I really use her over Phoebe or not? I don't know. It remains to be seen, but it's an idea. So,
Sweet.
but yeah, moving on to Engelbert. So I haven't seen the screenshots, but 15,000 HP sounds insane. But
it
he
was
does
some
have.
ridiculous number like that. Yeah.
I mean, it's probably doable because like he has 5,805 HP with all his like stat nodes added up and everything, which is quite a bit.
I'm thinking 22,000. I don't know why that's sticking out, but I'm
That
gonna go look
almost
for it
sounds
now.
familiar too. Yeah.
Yeah.
22. Okay.
Right. Like that is the appropriate response.
Okay.
But
Yeah. No, you get in
I
a class match, you
remember
check your
linking
opponent's
it.
stats, you're like, the fuck?
What the fuck?
This is
Crazy.
why they let us hit 12k.
All right, sorry to interrupt.
That's right. I mean, he like so looking at his upgrades. I mean, I think his upgrades are nice for kind of what he does, but I think he would still kind of suffer from similar things that he suffered from in the past when it comes to like the PvP community, especially the live PvP community. But anyway, let's kind of go into his stats first, and then we will get there. Get there. One of the notable things on his export is that he gets 6 agility. I always found it as agility is quite low, so it's nice that they boosted it up by 6 on his EX stat board. That leaves him up to 54 agility. It's still on the lower end, but it's 6 higher than it was before, which is always nice. Looking at his skills, the upgrades. So Holy Knight's protections. I don't know how to say that. Holy Knight's Allspice. Is that it? I don't know. Anyway, it increases healing power by 20. So
Actually,
it
what is that word? Auspices? Oh, Jesus. Oh, you got me. Danny, you know this one?
I wasn't even looking.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
AU
auspices.
spices.
Yeah,
Auspices? Huh.
auspices. Yeah,
Auspices.
not
Okay.
spices. It's not a deodorant.
Is that it's not a different Jesus Christ.
I think this is sorry.
It's like a token.
Oh, is that what it is?
Or like like under the auspices of something is like being watched over. It's there's different synonyms for it, but anyways, yeah, it's basically like holy protection, I guess you could say.
Okay.
So this skill now has an increased healing power of 20, which I think is really nice for what he's meant to do, which is be a tank, especially in like auto PvP, because if you have a healer behind him, and if he has 22,000 HP, he can actually use that extra healing because, if you only have like say 10k HP and you heal for 10k anyway, that extra healing power is not going to do anything. But in this case, if you can get up to that much high HP, then yes, it's going to be like fantastic for him. His second skill is now Immortal Spirit. Also gets the name is now Immortal Conviction, and he also gets 12 hate added onto it, which is really nice. And also on top of that, he has a second cast, so it's really really good for guild battle scenarios. Um, and for the live PvP community, we don't really care about hate because we can still aim at whoever we want. But for auto battles, for guild battles, for arenas, yeah, this is going to be a great skill. And I think is like that's where he's going to shine really in any kind of auto content, because any kind of manual content you can just ignore him and run around him because he's going to be very slow, move to jump one unit. But for auto, yeah, he's got a very nice upgrade. And then his last skill, Retribution Drain, it does a bunch of things. So the first thing is that it increases defense penetration by 50. Then it has an elementless, sorry, not elementless, an attackless, a
Typeless?
typeless attack.
There you go.
Yes, that's what it was.
Like a
A typeless
ninja
attack.
ton.
Yeah, those ones, those ton, yeah. Anyway, so it's a typeless attack, and the damage increases as HP decreases, and then it also absorbs 50% of the damage done. So this is does a bunch of things at once, and this is a very great skill to have. It's gonna be one of those skills that helps him to survive longer, and then it's also gonna take advantage of the first skill upgrade, which increases the healing power, I believe. So this is going to heal for a lot. And yeah, overall, he got really good upgrades for his role, which is like a tank for these auto PvP scenarios. And he became especially useful for Guild Wars because of his second cast of Immortal Spirit. But other than that, for live PvP, obviously he doesn't really excite me. I've seen him a lot, and it was very hard to kill him, but I would just run around him and shoot arrows at him as I run around.
Fair.
So I don't expect that to change. But
That's
yeah.
that's not surprising. Like that's what you do to a tank. Like that's why bruisers shine so much more than tanks in live PvP is because generally they have issues with doing enough damage because their role is to take damage. Like if you are an invincible tank and you just do crazy amounts of damage, there's something wrong with the game. So with that in mind, like especially like I want to highlight his job 25 skill, like Retribution Drain. The fact that it's kind of like a tank buster in itself, you can't defend against its attack type because it's non-attack, and it has innate 50% defense pen. If you slap on like the sword that you normally put on Dwayne, with the defense pen 20 passive, the fact that they also made it scale to like his current HP means that it's gonna drain more the less HP he's at, so you're expecting him to like mitigate a lot of damage, but this is kind of like one of those like oh shit things where like he takes a lot of damage, he finally closes the gap to his opponent hopefully, and then can like really hopefully drain a significant amount of damage done back. I think it's kind of a cool, like he's kind of turned into like this attrition tank where mostly it was just like, all right, so once he's dead, he's dead. So
Right.
it'll be cool
Imagine
to see people's accounts of using him well.
Imagine like right after Immortal Spirit goes off and he has 1 HP, and the amount of damage that's going to increase from the last skill. It's going to be insane.
Yeah, and like obviously I'm not gonna say obviously, but he's gonna perform best on a light team, and light teams have been crazy, especially like I don't know if you picked up Summer Killfay for instance, or any of the light mages. Yeah, I think like you just even if you can just put Rob's VC like Flash of Insight on him, and whether I mean, do you guys ever remember using like have you used him enough to put like Leona's Castle on him just for the lulz? Like it
Never used
doesn't
him
really
before.
matter. Oh, okay,
Mine's
yeah, I
level
used to use
40.
him a lot. I used to use him a lot. He was like my first tank, especially because I missed out on Warrior of Light. So I'm intrigued, and I haven't decided whether or not I want to raise him to 120.
So I have
There's so much other light units.
yeah, couple questions. First, what is the vision card that gives the most bestowed HP? Because I found Bahamut that gives 15% to light units. I think that's the highest.
Wasn't
in terms
it
of percents.
Fenrir has a bestowed HP, right?
It's 10,
10%.
right? Yeah. So 15 is gonna be higher on Bahamut. Plus it's 422 HP base, which is really high. I think that's the highest you can get bestowed, and then 25 will be the highest for party.
There might be like
Um,
a fire one.
the-
I don't
but
know.
for Engelbert,
Probably not. You probably don't want to use that on him. But
okay.
yeah, I feel like I'm missing one.
Okay, so he has double HP up passives. With the Brigandine, I believe is the highest HP. Or among the highest HP. If it's off, it's only by less than 100 probably.
I think you want to use platinum armor. Like the vital one is like 976.
I was
I don't
gonna
know.
do
I
that,
can't
but platinum
remember.
armor's not showing up on World of Visions count.
Yeah, I can't. I feel like Brigandine is similar. Like I remember drawing a lot of parallels between Brigandine and platinum armor, but I can't remember Brigandine's vital total.
Yeah, it's weird because it's not. Yeah, it's just literally not showing up as an option on World of Visions calc right now. So I'll just use Brigandine. +5 vital max. Okay. So Golem is the highest Esper, or is there an Esper that gives HP percent? I don't think there's one that gives HP.
Phoenix.
Phoenix does?
Yeah.
Ooh, what's that percent look like?
It's like 15%, I think.
Oh, that's gonna be way more HP. One moment. The number's impressive. I'm just gonna tell you how much HP you can get on him. This is nuts. HP. Okay, so it's 5%. Okay, that's good.
Oh, is it only 5? Okay.
Yeah, it's 5. Yeah.
It gives 15 defense though. Still got us 300 extra HP. So okay. Brigandine, vital. We've got the earrings that give the 25% HP for 3 turns. We have
the earrings, yeah.
Yeah, they're the earrings, yeah, exactly. We have Bahamut VC for the 15% bestowed plus all the base. Phoenix now with a pretty high HP and all that. Double HP passives. Solidus in the party because it gives 25% HP to light units. 2 other light party buffs in the party. And then I have Elda's TMR on, so you could do the 35% increased max HP. I don't have that number. But just with the stuff equipped, he has 15,291 HP. So, if I take, let's say we'll take Solidus off out of the party. So 15.3 basically. And remove the 2 VCs. That's roughly what the 35 would give. It's another 2,500 health. So he'll be around like 18,000.
His base HP is like almost like 4,800. So with 35%, that's like 1,600.
Yeah.
Something.
Yep. So yeah, he can get very, very high in HP. And I have a feeling there may be some optimization I'm missing here. That was just kind of like my tinkering while we were chatting, but
right, like serpent statue, knight statue.
Oh, that's true.
Master abilities from like other light units.
Yeah, the master that has the mastery abilities with Yuna and Elsero. And I do have the light mastery at like 27 because that's realistic, honestly. There's so many light units that people have these days. The statues I didn't have as high though. I guess the serpent could be like 7. That would help, but anyway, that's a lot of HP. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, are we I think we're got through Engelbert. I'm just throwing my 2 cents in there. Yeah, the second moral spirit plus actually having hate on him to make him a relevant tank kind of caught up to everybody. Just those 2 things alone are like he's back.
It's insane to consider that Yuna might not insta cap his HP. And you know how annoying Aeon Bond can be, like with her, like sometimes it's like a 10,000 heal proc.
Yeah. Heals don't have caps, do they? Because like does healing cap at 11,999 or whatever?
I haven't
hit
seen
that high, so I don't know.
I think I've seen a 13k heal, but I can't be sure.
Like I've seen the lifesteal from like Velric for like 50k or whatever, but I haven't seen an actual like nuke heal. Oh, we'll have to see if we can get somebody like who can get the highest single like healing nuke on a unit. Although maybe it's just like max damage Engelbert on 1 HP and just like he does some ridiculous lifesteal thing. Which I guess I don't know if we count that, but just like max damage Engelbert. Wait, he has store, right?
Yeah, he does.
Someone's got to do it. It's not
I
me,
don't
though.
think it's gonna work the way you think it works. But it would be amazing.
The story. I mean, we could get him up to. My Cecil had 1300 attack.
Well, so store increases like attack, yeah, but it's a base attack increase, right? Like Engelbert's base
150%.
attack.
348. He'll get 500 attack.
Woo!
That's a lot. Anyway, all right. Moving on to more EXs. I think we just have one more EX unit besides Glaciela, who technically is EX, but she's new. Which is another icy boy, Lasswell. He has some interesting stuff, and I think that they do help out a lot. So in addition to just having a ton of extra HP, well, I say a ton, it's like 500, but his max, it looks like his totals are still at only like 2.2k health. No way it's that low. That's
No way.
That's weird. Anyway, okay, I guess that's somewhat less exciting seeing that value, but I think in practice he's gonna kind of be caught up to the other 120s. One big thing is his Blade Flash Awakening got upgraded, so it's a higher damage mod, but I think way more importantly is the fact that it's not just a straight line anymore, range 3, and that you can actually do like diagonals and stuff, which is huge because I mean we talked about immobilize being annoying earlier, but even just positioning against units like Kane and I guess formerly Lasswell, you could like just make them not be able to hit you if you position correctly. So having that sort of remedy here is really nice. His Fatal Bloom also gets a damage mod increase up to 250, which is ridiculous. With an extra 30% hit chance, so increased accuracy. Kind of nuts. Still only range 1 though, so you have to be able to get in somebody's face to use it, but
That's Fatal Bloom has always been that. It's the passive.
oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
I'm just saying upgrade. I'm just going down the list. My bad.
Yeah.
No, actually, yeah, I do remember that. God damn it. All right. Well, anyway, we'll keep that one in too. This Mirage upgrade is an EX though. I remember seeing it. So he gets a third use of one of my least favorite skills in the game. This ability and everything it stands for. I hate it, but whatever. He gets a third Mirage, which is really good if you are a Lasswell fan. I already have him like unlocked to 120. I'll be using him at some point. Then his EX25 skill is Mirror of Equity Haze. So it's a 165 mod with a chance to blind, which is nice since Lasswell can be built for evasion. I haven't seen it in quite some time, but I'm sure that, especially with EX upgrade skills, like you can still do it. Now, mono ice evade, maybe not, but him kind of slotting into a multi-element evade team, I could see still. And it has a moderate range of 3 plus an AoE of 1. So while he doesn't really have too much in the way of impressive range, except for maybe his like horizontal jump on his Dragoon sub, it's at least better than being like a paladin or something, or like a knight who just has like the weird like one range things. Any particular notes for him? I know you used to be a fan of using him, right, Daniel? Did you go for him now?
Yeah. He's I got him to 120, but I've just been passively leveling him because I'm running him on trials.
Sure.
And this trials, I'm actually trying to give a shit and not just end up at like 2-3 million like I normally do. I think one of the most important things to note, and for anyone listening that maybe isn't that as familiar with Lasswell, or that kind of missed him the last time around, Mirage counts as a barrier and is subject to barrier breaks. So it's really important, and why I don't really consider his X upgrade to Mirage that big of a deal. All it does is give him an extra use of it, which may be useful in terms of like attrition wise, but it can still be removed. Yeah, it's annoying, but I really would have liked to see, and obviously we've known about these upgrades since we've seen JP side of things. I really would have liked to see another kind of upgrade for him, whether increased accuracy or like a guaranteed hits, or some other kind of gimmick. I really think the fact that Mirage just got another stack, like another use to it, is just kind of almost lackluster, like despite how powerful it can be. In terms of whether running him on evasion or not, the fact that it's like a reflex on demand, while still subject to being broken as a barrier. Yeah, I wish that he kind of in the same vein as I wish Rain got something a little bit better. I wish he would have got treated a little bit better, especially as a Brave Exvius unit.
Could see that. Yeah. I mean, it is nice to have an additional use of a 40 TP skill as well. That like at least
Yeah,
protects you a little bit. But yeah, I could see that being the case. It doesn't do anything extra now, right? It's just another time you can use
yeah,
it, which if you're spamming
exactly.
your mirages though, you're probably on the back foot anyway. You kind of want it like as you approach to not die on the approach, but then you kind of want to keep the offense up. So yeah, although yeah, it is really annoying with evasion, I guess, because you finally hit through the evasion and ping, no damage. It's just like, god
That's
damn it.
that's why I enjoyed using him in the first place.
Yeah, it's so annoying. But yeah, I guess barrier break first is no bueno for that. Lock
In
any
terms of,
top some. Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry.
Nope, you're good.
I want to hear what Locke says first, though, before I
Oh,
continue.
sure.
I mean, I haven't used him at all either, but I have played against him many times, and I mean, as long as he can get into range, he does a lot of damage. I recently played against him on my new account with only Cloud being really invested in, and he had trouble approaching Cloud, whereas Cloud could shoot arrows in the back, and when he finally approached him, I used triple slash to get through break the barrier on the first hit, and then do the additional damage and kill him. So I mean, like as long as he can get into range, then he will do a ton of damage. And if you are playing him on Dragoon sub, he does get additional move, additional jump. So yeah, he's usable. And Rafalos. I'm probably like not saying his name
Rafflos.
correctly.
Raph, yeah,
Rafalos, yes. He used him a lot, and like he would do like double quickens with him, and he would do really well. And I'm sure he's going to still be used very well now with his EX upgrade and just like the stat boost that comes with it. So he's still a very good unit. The only thing you have to kind of be wary of is his range. Like he does need to get in range to do damage, kind of similar to Auron. Like Auron needs to also get into range to do his damage, but he does big damage once he gets there.
Been a big damage. Someone in my guild asked me once I showed a stat block on one of my teams with the new Lasswell VC we'll talk about in a little bit, because it gives attack percent on bestow. In the same formation, I had Auron at 1600 plus attack in formation, and Salir with 1600 magic in
nice.
formation. It was this
That's,
ridiculous values with a Gilgamesh on the team, like supporting.
do you have like Shiva on Salir, and was it a evade team or just kind of hybrid?
It wasn't. No, it was just I was seeing how high I could get the attack and magic values simultaneously.
Nice.
They asked if I could get 1700. I'm like, I don't think I could do that outside of like in-game buffs, but 1600 happened. So
That's sweet.
you just mentioned Auron.
Yeah.
It made me think about it.
I think kind of my last beef I have with Lasswell's X upgrades are like he still struggles with his dex and luck values in terms of not only evade but accuracy. And like the only thing you can really rely on to hit more often is his upgraded Fatal Bloom, and you have to have his passive like Tranquil Detachment like loaded on him to be able to access that higher hit chance. So like your first impulse might be to just put Lasswell on a team to hunt, wind evade teams, but you might actually be better off just using another ice unit like Gilgamesh or Orin or Velric, who is way more amazing in terms of accuracy without really having like a guaranteed hit. I don't believe he has one, but just way more scary as a 120 unit than Lasswell, despite Lasswell's access to evasion and obviously overpowered Mirage skill. I think I'd be more scared of a 120 Velric than a 120 Lasswell. So,
I
but
think
in
it's the
terms of
Nightblade, right? Has the accuracy on Valric.
He
yeah,
does. Yeah.
On top of like using like Odin and
Sure.
whatever, I can't remember all the accuracy upgrades that people loaded on him. I was this was when I was pushing as like a wind evade team on Arena, but yeah, I saw Velric and his gear and his like Esper and Vision Card. I was like, holy shit, I cannot handle that kind of evasion or that kind of accuracy on him as a wind evade team. So if I saw Lasswell instead, I probably would have been like, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, I got
But
this. Like
so
fatal blooms your face off, Jesus.
yeah, and that kind of reminds me of like something my experience with Lasswell in the past. Like I have seen people use him on guild battle teams and just him dodging left and right like a boss. And like I like on the other hand have had less I guess magnificent results in my like last well guild battle teams
he,
where
he
half the time he gets hit and gets like one shot or something.
he's done less
So
well for you.
less well, yes. Oh, last worm. Um, yeah, so like I said, in turn, like I really wish he got better, like just like one better upgrade, and either like make him more accurate or make him more evasive, something. But instead, he got another Mirage use. So I still really like him. I think, especially with his vision card, which I'm guessing we're about to talk about.
Yeah, I was gonna say, might
Um,
as well just roll right into that, which
roll right into
ironically
that.
does
Yeah,
help accuracy and evasion.
yeah, exactly. So maybe that was the intention,
Yeah,
not only to
we'll
to get
always have
to
this.
not only to convince you to like spend on it, or at least to spend resources, but just it's rough. Like he's hurting. Like I said, luck and dex could be higher. Anyways,
The vision card, yeah, we'll just go right into that because it's only one vision card, one equipment, and then we'll talk about Glaciela for the rest of the time. So the HP 313, attack 152, middling decent values. 4 defense though is pretty exciting. I always like seeing defense, spirit, agility, like those other sort of stats on the vision cards. That's all ice stuff. So ice bestow, it gets 30% attack. Like I mentioned earlier on Oron, it can really push high values now on these 120 units. If you have this in the party along with like Fenrir, the values are nuts. Then Lasswell himself gets his own bonus of 10% luck and 20 defense penetration, which is sick. Along with his passive, that's a 60 defense pen, which is, I mean, yeah, a lot of units are getting
sizable.
access to that. So it's almost like not even as special anymore because almost all of the newer units are getting these like
Right.
60 defense pen, 80 defense pen, whatever.
Like last year, can I just mention like last year was like the year of the tank in a way, and this year is like the year of defense pen.
Of ending battles, yeah.
Yeah.
At least everybody has like more
Tank
HP and stuff.
busters.
Exactly. Party effect wise, though, this is where I think the really exciting stuff starts coming in. So the acquired AP 25%. That's one of those things like we kind of like, sounds good. But you'll notice it over time, like how much of an impact that can have. However, finally, we have the agility 15% for ice units, and that is probably what makes me most excited for this card. Not to mention the maxed ability of 25 human killer on physical damage. This card is just all around, whether it's bestowed or part, like it's all great. I think I've probably mentioned it on like 5 different podcasts by now. This is like my number one thing I've been looking forward to upgrade like my sort of like mono ice obsession. So I'm really curious to see what I can make happen with this and what sort of team compositions are now available to me. Especially just like shell holding this is a big deal. Like instead of having to put Scion or Black Rose Helena or something on, and like Black Rose Helena is a good card, but I can't usually make as much use of its abilities. But this is just, this is great.
I honestly expect you to make the most use out of it with like your ranged ice team.
Mm-hmm.
Rosa, possibly Barrett. I don't know, even like Corey.
Rose's attack value with this. Oh
Exactly right.
man.
Or even Corey. Corey can take out like units in like 2 shots. So like yeah, I think this will excel the most on range teams just because of its particular buffs.
Mm-hmm.
But woe to those that let like the melee ice units get in range.
Yeah. Definitely a brutal one. And it's interesting because there's like 5 relevant ice VCs. So you
Yeah,
kind of have to
yeah,
pick and
definitely.
choose which ones you want to have on the team. 6 if you are on that range team, because I mean, Curry's VC is
Yeah.
a card. The MR.
And if I'm not mistaken, this is the third URVC that has access that gives like 15 agility, right? There's like the Chocobo VC gives 10,
Mm-hmm.
and then there might be something else, but there's Black Rose Helena, that card, Black Rose of the Battlefield, I guess. There's obviously Sign of House Belv, and then this, right? Can you guys
Bahamut
think of
gives
any other?
8?
Yeah, Bahamut does give 8. That's true for light units. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Uh,
I mean, Siren
15.
gives
Yeah, this
15.
is it. So this is a 3 for 15, I think.
Is it the third one only? I thought for some reason there might have been some that were like mono elemented. Huh. Okay. Let's go ice. I mean,
let's go.
yeah, it's just there's so many good things about this card. Did you guys pull for it at all?
Dude, that's another thing I wanted to mention. The fact that it was another one of those like popular vision cards that like it
Oh,
only
the
took
2K?
2K paid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's like
I definitely topped up the day
yes,
before,
get it.
and
Like
I need a daily
I
purchase. I'm like, I'll get that pack
I
that's been
mean
floating around there.
for as good as how this card is, like it's that kind of access to it just widens the gap between spenders and non-spenders in my opinion. So that kind of
Fair.
sucks. But for those of us who had easy access to it, it's just like it's raining. I don't know what it's raining, but yeah, the Shiva's blessings are raining down upon us.
But if that's all we have for the VC, let's move on real quick. Talk about the Shinra Bangle. So, I'm gonna just say, if you build one, I'm gonna build like one shield, and then I'm done with this thing. I don't think it's a great piece of equipment. It's a nice tool to have, but feel free to. I'm gonna put up the table with the change my mind on the front of it because I don't. I'm not thrilled with this piece of equipment. So,
Yeah, there's
how's your farming
people
going?
people were arguing for building a critical type for it, you know, because you're probably
12
going to use it
crit.
on, I don't know. Yeah, I'll use it on like cloud or something. But honestly,
Please use it against me.
for for any unit using this for the crit damage as well as the defense penetration, like I don't think they're going to need help with crits to the point that this can give them, as opposed to just using the 16 defense from shields. Like in terms of what you're going to make better use of, I'm pretty sure the defense is going to help them survive better than maybe eking out a little bit more damage from a crit as opposed to a non-crit, which is probably going to crit, honestly.
The difference is 9. You go from 3 crit on the shield version to 12 on the critical. Like 12
Right,
on a critical. Like if it's 25 or 30, you might have my attention. But
right, or
like
20,
12?
even 20.
Yeah, I guess 20.
Yeah,
We could have a conversation there too.
kind
But
of like,
12 is
yeah,
just
just
like
like a
that's
an
just like
aim
an
ring or
accessory that
whatever.
you put on. Yeah, it's like, oh, my bells randomly have like, it's like what, 14 accuracy. It's like this
Right.
thing randomly has 12 crit. Like, ugh. Anyway.
Like you automatically have to consider how much it's going to get decreased from stacking the same type of equipment
Right.
or same stats or whatever on equipment. But yeah, I'm with you. Shield all the way.
Yeah, I'm just gonna farm 63 recipes and not really build it.
That's
But I don't
probably,
know.
yeah.
I know.
Legit.
I don't think I'll be using it. So and
Oh,
I
it's
mean
white
they
sand.
still cost. Yeah, they still cost bucks to build. So I don't really have all those builds.
Oh
Exactly.
yeah, screw this thing.
You
Yeah,
are
63 recipes,
accessory.
but I'm just using this white sand on so many things I'm behind on. Are you kidding me? I didn't even think about that. Oh yeah.
Yeah, the
Oh,
books
that
is
makes
the
me
most
excited.
important part.
Yeah, I guess that too. I think we get handed out books like fairly frequently though, and I imagine for the 1.5 anniversary, unless we already
Gonna be
got
the time, probably.
them, but we'll get some stuff. Well, we got one recently though, right? For some kind of, was it just a 7 remake? Just like here's some
I
stuff.
think
or-
so. I think it was for 7 remake,
Something, yeah.
Okay, well,
like a month ago. Yeah.
summer maybe. I don't know, but
But
I imagine we
when
get
it,
something for the 1.5, get a bunch of books, and then what we're not gonna get is white sand.
maybe it's because we're PvPers and we value like maybe survivability over more damage. But like when it comes to this versus like another defense bracer, I'm gonna pick the defense bracer probably because I'm still at 1, even though I have like the recipes for another one. I'm hurting on books. That's mostly I have it's way more than enough mats for anything else. But yeah, the books is like the real bottleneck for having like luxury items like this, in my opinion.
Luxury, yeah. That's actually probably a good way to put this. This is sort of like a luxury item. Like no one really needs this item, but it's like a nice thing to have.
Nice.
Sort of
Like
nice.
Titus's necklace is probably better, and it also gives you crit damage. So why would you use this?
Yeah,
if you
Like,
have both. Yeah.
I think I was saying this before you get on here, Locke. When Daniel and I, like the pre-talk we always have, like the defense pen 10, like maybe there's going to be a PvP or PvE thing that somebody needs to hit a certain threshold in order to like clear it more efficiently, or there's a unit that has no defense pen built in, but they need to be able to do damage. Something really niche like that. But yeah, the rest of it's just not very compelling. Like, I feel like I'd rather use the Elven Cloak for its defense and then just have more HP and then also like, yay, some pierce resist in case I come up against that. Like a little bit of defense pen. I don't know. It's just yeah. Very meh.
Interesting.
If you our viewers disagree, feel free to chime in. Let us know in the comments.
Moving on to the last thing for today, at least release wise, unless we have some notes at the end, is the thing we shouldn't have, Glaciela Regalia.
Fucking A, man. I've been looking forward to her for so long. I know you guys
have, but like,
yeah, you guys are tired of
come
the
on,
whole
man. It was the fan voted unit for a different like server of the game, different release of the game. Like, why do we get like they're gonna get Zazan then, right? Like they're gonna get the UR Zazan in order to like even out the servers. They don't have Freyevia. Like what? Why this? Like first it was Dwayne where I swear they like ninja edited exclusive to like Global First or whatever it was.
I'm inclined to believe that.
Because I'm pretty sure it was exclusive when it came out. Then they got Dwayne.
So
Now they got Glaciela.
Prodigy's gonna have a hell of a time editing this episode.
And most of them are pretty easy.
Gonna look. Oh, you froze again.
What? No, you guys. No. God damn it!
No.
No. Anyway, yeah, just not thrilled. The fact we got their voter unit. I thought that was gonna kind of make the sort of make the votes more impactful, right? Like I guess it's nice because she ranked high-ish on our voting, and like same with like Elsorel Summer, we got our extra UR Elsorel version, but it just kind of cheapens it to me. Like it was supposed to be this special thing for the servers and for the fans, and now it's not as special. I don't know.
Yeah.
Really cool unit though.
Maybe it was out of like Hiroki's hands or something, and they were like, "There's no way we're letting you keep this unit from Global when we can make that much more money from her or her release or whatever." So, I feel like maybe it's like more behind the scenes than we might expect.
Or exactly as much as we expect behind the scenes.
Or yeah.
But all right, I will let you guys take this one because I have talked about multiple units now, and I don't have her, and I have a feeling at least Daniel does. I don't know if Flock does, but
I have her on my new account. You can go ahead.
Yeah, so she's kind of like my new waifu. I you guys, I know you guys are probably tired of it, like almost ad nauseum, me talking about like, oh, I wish there was a UR fire healer, and now we finally fucking have her. And I'm gonna stand by my language. Like it's really cool, as a fire focused account, to finally have a UR healer on my team, to go with like King Mons, and like I mentioned earlier, like so my team is like King Mons, I call her Fire Glacy, but Regalia, Glaciela, and Summer Catone. And boy, have I been kicking ass with that team, and it feels so good, especially with the Fire VCs and the Fire Espers. And yeah, it's just really fun to finally like have a team that can that has a healer on it and be able to stack like all the fire buffs basically. So yeah, it's not just that she's effective on a fire team, but like her particular buffs and her AI and the way that her attack skills kind of are supported by her like healing and buffs and stuff. I think all around she's just a really versatile unit. So yeah, let's just dive into it. Her master ability provides the usual fire upgrades, HP and fire attack, but increases not only her AoE resistance by 10, but she gets decreased cast time by 200, 20%, whatever. So that's really cool. She's not even a time mage. They just gave her decreased cast time. So that on top of her scholar stuff really gives her the opportunity to be like almost like a hyper carry in terms of like cast time. So more on that later. Her TMR isn't really the best. It's got a big chunk of HP at 466, but 12 Spirit Critical Void is still kind of just like, it's a dump stat right now. So, but it's an interesting TMR skill. The fact that it's a burst, like emanation, like it's centered on the caster and 2 on each side or whatever. It's sort of like, maybe it's because of the AoE range aspect of it. It's like a lesser version of Garvel's TMR, which I'm sure we're all familiar with. It's like 50 magic res pen. This one, it raises magic by 40% for 3 turns and also increases magic res penetration by 20, but just for the caster, not for the caster and the allies, which is the magic buff. Pretty cool name, March of the Wolf Princess. Glaciela has always been a cool unit to me in the story, so I like the whole like upgraded aspect to her. So stat wise, the first thing I look at is like the status resistances. I can't recall specifically, but I think she's the first unit that has stun resistance naturally. She has 50% stun resistance, so don't expect her to get stunned by anything but like, I don't know, like a 67% base like LB or something.
Skull LB, I think, might be the one. Is
No,
that
Skull's
paralysis?
paralysis. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't remember. I think Cecil might have 67%
Yep.
base to stun. But other than that, it's like, stun blade, blade bash, none of those. I think they're all 25% base. It needs to have the confusion resist. It's one of those things that you don't really appreciate until you get hit by like an Agrius LB and like you don't get confused. I think there's a few confusion effect skills still in use nowadays in the meta. So it's cool to not have to worry about getting your casts like interrupted by getting confused, which is really annoying, right?
I think it's Tubi,
I don't.
right? Has like a weird confused
QB is Whirling Vortex.
Yeah.
There's like a few other ones. Other than that, I don't really have much to say about her stats. I don't know if you guys want to chime in about that.
Well, she has the usual positive to slash missile magic, which are like the holy trinity of like resists, I guess.
Yeah.
And then Pierce and Strike have always been the more niche ones. So I mean, that's always a positive, right?
Yeah, especially missile in my opinion. Missile and magic resistance, honestly. But like, you can't. So in terms of vision cards, like you're probably going to be running, or at least for me, like it's hard not to run the Phoenix Vision card for the magic res and the Encounter of Heroes for the slash res. So those you can expect to be buffed normally, but the missile resistance, it's really nice to have the base of 15%. There's not like a fire vision card that's focused on like increasing your resistance to missile attacks. I mean, there's obviously Death Machine, which is like area effect resistance. But yeah, still haven't seen a missile attack resistance like fire card. So anything really helps, especially as a cloth user. She can wear platinum robe, so that's pretty cool. But moving on
also
to
eight flat defense is nice too. Like having flat defense or spirit built in is just always a
for sure.
plus.
Especially as like a scholar, where like she has a skill that increases her defense. So yeah, very very cool. So I'm going to move on to her passives. I think her big one is like her main sub job passive. It's Arcane Assault Lore. Increases not only magic attack but decreases activation time, and the X upgrade it gets increases Spirit Pen by up to 40. So yeah, you're probably going to be running Arcane Assault Mastery on her almost every time. Yeah, it's so good. Magic attack, Spirit Pen, reduce cast time. Yeah. The only instance where this isn't gonna help you is it's not gonna help you heal more, but it's still gonna help you cast the heals faster. So it's just a kind of a toss up between like the other two passives that really stand out to me. Scholarly Intuition and Knowledge Reserves. Both of them are from the Scholar job, and I think it's really cool that she got both of these. These are kind of like the two big ones in my opinion from the Scholar job. There might be one that I'm forgetting, but so Knowledge Reserves is basically like a little bit worse speed cast from the Time Mage job. So the fact that it reduces cast time by another 20 or 200, whichever you prefer, on top of like the 15 or 150 from her other passive, like just stacking these cast time reductions, even before like vision cards or like the Siren Esper like we talked about earlier. But it's hard not to pick Scholarly Intuition in terms of keeping your Glaciela alive. It gives you 12 defense and 20 accuracy. Accuracy is always good to have on units nowadays. You never know when you're going to like get off an attack and you assume it's going to hit, and then out of nowhere you get like the miss on like Warrior of Light, and you're just like, I cannot believe this fucking happened. So
the
20
98s and the
accuracy,
99s of the world.
it's really nice to kind of push that up to 100% on non-evade units. Moving on to her reaction skills, it's probably no brainer that you're going to use magic detection. It's a magic reflex basically, but maybe you're stacking a lot of defense on her, you're not expecting magic attacks, then you just put regenerator on her instead. I wouldn't really use reactive force. I don't think the just straight damage counters are really that great, but sometimes they are clutch, and it is a 30% chance to react, so it's up there with like Aeon Bonds and what feels like reflex, even though reflex is only supposed to be like 15%, 15% 100% of the time, right?
Right.
So I want to address like her main job skills before moving to her X buffs, and pretty much they're all just crazy in a weird way. Like her first one, Bestirring Baton, it's like 6 casts and a 25% chance to inflict Berserk for 3 turns. Like I feel like this is one of the first first skills that we have access to Berserk on a regular basis. Like obviously there's King Mont's like LB, and then there's like reactions like the Viking one, like Fighting Spirit, right? But I'm struggling to think of any other Berserk status effect skills. So it's interesting to see this.
Not on offense.
Right.
I think there's a
Um,
TP skill that does.
She's got a cool like TP skill, Rally Magic, increases magic attack by 20 for 3 turns for her allies. It's like a cross AoE centered on her. But she gets a crazy 50 magic attack buff at the same time. So she applies 20 to her allies and 50 to herself. Not the hugest fan of just like straight damage buffs, but holy shit, 50 magic attack, just like increasing like the damage modifiers by 50 for 3 turns on her magic attacks are just crazy. On like it kind of puts her up to like Summer Katone's level of damage in a way, because Summer Katone's damage is just crazy on like a fire team especially. Grand Explosion is it's not really the whole law of geo absorption like scholar skill that has like the striking damage, but to me it's kind of similar, only because it's spirit pen like 50 instead of like striking, so have fun with that. But the fact that it's a main job skill, I think is kind of nice to have that in her kit, just to have that burst damage, that burst range like skill is nice. It's only 2 casts, but and it's a hefty 36 AP, but like a spirit pen burst damage skill it's nice to have. Although her next skill, Wounding Fangs, that gets upgraded to Rending Fangs, she kind of, in my experience, she prioritizes that in auto PvP, and I think it's because I don't think it's because of the cheaper AP expenditure. It's 27 AP. It's still kind of like medium like expenditure, but the damage is nice and the range is nice, and it increases the mod by 60% if you're affected by things that you would normally expect to see on an opponent's team. Sleep from Summer Katone's LB, Berserk from King Mont's LB, like AP Restore from like Bells, Haste if you're going up against an ice team with like Gilgamesh or Salir on Time Mage, just really really useful, and this is kind of like her bread and butter skill, despite it being like a higher AP cost than something you would look for as a bread and butter skill as like maybe like 10 to 15 or 18 AP. And then her last skill before her X upgrades, Azure Impact, It's an interesting kind of like stun shot range, but it's another quote unquote AOE. So I don't really see her use it that much in auto PvP, but I'm looking for chances to use it in manual because I'll definitely be using her. And it's a range height of 1, AOE height of 1, so it's an option for when height variations are a thing. I don't want to go too long into like the rest of her skills, but so white mage, she gets everything but full life, which is kind of frustrating. And she doesn't get re-raise, so that kind of sucks. But having
Well,
Kuraga,
re-raise isn't
Kurata,
white mage, right? You
yeah,
mean full
it's.
life and holy are the two other ones?
I didn't even think about holy.
Yeah, because
But
remember it's always Kiraga, holy, or full life. You
yeah,
get one.
yeah, yeah. I just always thought of re-raise as like a white mage skill. The fact that Aerith gets it and Yuna gets it, like it's not linked to white mage, but you kind of expect it
Sure,
as
sure,
like a white mage X upgrade maybe.
sure.
Um, all of her sub job stuff is useful. She's one of those versatile units where like it's hard to pick a sub job because one doesn't jump out at you like some other jobs do, like Ranger for Frederica. I don't know why that was the first thing that came to mind. I hate Frederica, but like White Mage, it's what I've been waiting for. It makes sure you are a fire healer. But Scholar is just so damn good, and even her main sub job, there's just she gets an AOE chance to sleep. It's base 25, but still AOE sleep. It's nice. It's worked for me with Rain and like our finals. Like, um, the other ones are kind of weird. She gets like an AOE magic resistance imperil or magic resistance break. Wolvenhal, it's a pretty cool name, but um, I don't know if her main sub job is worth using over White Mage or Scholar. But I can still see that it being like a surprise tech choice,
I mean, you just don't
White
need that
Mage
magic resistance break when you have these magic attacks. Like it's her mods in the other direction are so
spirit
crazy.
pens and stuff, yeah. So like
Mhm.
I would say it may be useful against like a team with like Gilgamesh on it who has like the magic res buff, But again, like Summer Katone, like it depends on who else is on your team. So for me, like I see magic resistance and I'm just like hazard slash, good luck. But Scholar, another strong choice as a sub job. The Law of Preservation, increasing your defense and defense debuff resistance. Um, Magic Orb is nice. It's kind of like the bread and butter skill of the Scholar job. Speed reading, Law of Speed reading, reducing the cast time even further. And then she gets Law of Geo Absorption. So like if you have her on Scholar sub and have access to Law of Geo as well as like her Grand's what was it, Grand
Grand
Explosion.
explosion.
Yeah, she just has AOE for miles, right? And like having access to like a magic strike skill as usual is useful to have in your toolkit. So um, last but not least, her LB, really nice like L damage. It's one of those rare skills that we don't see too much of yet, where it reduces the counter chance as long as it hits, successfully. If your skill doesn't get reflexed, like it's gonna apply for 3 turns, and then it gives her like a medium kind of auto restore, which is weird to see on like a caster with like a higher base like initial AP pool, but it just helps her. How do you call it? Like helps her not run out of gas, basically. So um, I really have no complaints with her skill set, besides like the lack of a full life. Like that's what really made like a unit like Halloween Little Leela compelling, is the fact that she had full life as well as like her other skills, like especially as an arithmetician.
And I just like the fact that the limit burst that removes reflex is called Dreams Come True.
Yeah, it doesn't have anything to do with the popularity contest. It's just like, finally, my dream came
Right.
true. No more fucking reflex or Aeon bonds.
Uh, just one note real quick about Grand Explosion. It's a it's not like ignores 50% of spirit, like for that ability, it's a buff for a turn. So if you use like her LB the following turn or something else instant, you'll still maintain that 50% spirit pen for that next hit, which is pretty crazy. Which I think the only ones are the Rending Fangs, Azure Impact, and her LB. It looks like are the only instant ones, but
Yeah,
being able
but
to 1-2 punch that's pretty powerful.
so that 50 on top of the 40 from her passive is basically like fuck your spirit.
Yeah,
Like it's 90% penetration.
Yes,
Insult
absolutely.
on top of injury.
What a fun podcast to edit this is gonna be. Not cutting that out, just like so
Uh,
many things.
fair enough. We're entertainers at heart, right?
Yes, absolutely. Man.
Drawbacks. Yeah, so she doesn't have the best slash resistance. So uh, that kind of sucks because a lot of the units in the game are slash attack units. It's weird that she has more defenses, natural defenses against missile units and magic units as opposed to like slash units. Weird, but kind of cool. So
Helpful.
yeah, I don't want to spend too much time extolling her virtues, especially on a fire team. Like it's really cool. Like I put her on white mage and just never looked back. But like I'd really like to use more of her scholar stuff, especially because of having the reduced cast time access. But like in an auto PvP battle, you can expect her to buff like protect or shell like for a turn or two, and then by that time like your like your tank or your DPS unit or whatever is going to be in fronts and like doing damage, and then like almost right after that, as long as you have the agilities tuned correctly, like you can basically expect her to just like rending fangs. I keep referring to my King Mons, Glaciela, and Summer Catone team. Like it's amazing how they obliterate teams by just going one right after the other. And like King Mons will do like his slash resistance break, and then Summer Catone will do like a drain evo for like 6k, and then Glaciela like comes in with like a 10k rending fangs, and it's just insane. Like
Oh,
there's no way to really uh,
Vox camera just like
luck
plop.
luck agrees with me. It's world shaking. So I'm having a lot of fun with her. I think, let's see, drawbacks, I would say accuracy
Bloody hell.
is gonna be, I'm gonna keep talking so that it draws attention away from so accuracy is probably going to be something to consider on her. Like, yes, she gets the access to a little bit more accuracy, like the 20 from her passive, but um, she doesn't have any guaranteed attack hits, which is a big deal. So that has come up a few times in my experience already. So you might have to rely on maybe one of your other units building a lot of accuracy, either from skills or Esper or Vision Card. Fortunately, there's for fire units, there's the Death Machine. Wait, is it? No, it's Blaze of Grass. Blaze of Grass, yeah.
It's aggressive.
Which, so it's that gives the accuracy for the party as well as an attack buff. So you could put that on like King Munt or Raldor or even King Elda. And then put Odin on them for the increased accuracy. So you might not need to stack accuracy on Glaciela because she's kind of more of a support, but she can do a lot of crazy damage. So I can see her being used as a hyper carry, but you just gotta make sure to kind of pay attention to her drawbacks, like having to give her better accuracy, kind of like a
Sure.
lot of other units. So not really too much to complain about. I'm still kind of working out the kinks and trying to find out her weaknesses and explore more of her strengths against other units.
Are you excited for Minwoo as well? As sort of like another addition to that fire team, and then you can go like full on
Yeah,
magic.
it's hard not to be excited about like like another fire support unit, but um, I guess it'll depend on the limited cost like scenario, where like a Minwoo I'm assuming is like cost 80, where I think Glacial is another 100 cost unit. I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so she's cost 100. So that is going to be another thing to consider for using her in class match or even guild battles or whatever.
Let me look at. I think Minwoo is right here. 80. Yep.
Nice.
You can do
So yeah, she gets.
Mish.
I was gonna say, can you please like max Mish and then just like mess around with like the magic
Mish,
team?
Mont,
My
and
Mish is
Glaciela.
maxed
There you go.
already. I've been using him, so yeah, I might have to consider that.
Because it's 230 now,
Let's
right?
see.
So that'll actually fit.
I think we're
Glaciela
expecting 230 for class match 2. I think
and-
it might be
230
class
for
match
units?
3.
Yeah,
It might
for
be class match
units.
3, but soon, yeah, we're expecting a 230 class match. So yeah, that'll be cool to see.
So essentially, we'll get like a 90 cost unit in the place of an 80 is kind of what they're allowing us.
Yeah, basically. But I think even 10 more cost like opens up windows for more combinations.
Sure does.
I haven't really looked
Boron
too
and
much at it.
Shell with Gilgamesh.
Nice.
The one I was off by
Somebody's
10.
looking
I
forward.
didn't realize.
Yeah. But yeah, Glaciela is cool. I think she's worth it. I don't think she's limited, is she?
She's not.
No, she's not limited. So yeah, I think eventually everyone can have fun with her. Yay!
Yeah, actually, I wasn't sure if she was at first, and then I realized she wasn't. So, I mean, hey, it's yours. Zazan was right.
He was, yes.
So,
And she.
our fan voted unit was
Yeah.
limited, but Japan's
Doesn't make
fan
any
voted
sense.
unit is unlimited. Okay,
She is limited for Japan. So it's like
that
really
doesn't make
bizarre.
it better. That makes it worse. Oh, so
doesn't
sad.
make
But
sense,
yeah,
yeah.
so last but not least, I just want to highlight again her cast reductions, cast speed reductions. So her mastery ability is 20 or 200. Her two passives are like 15 and 20, so that's 35. That's 55. And then her law of speed reading, if you have Rand Scholar, is another 35. So that's basically 90 or 900 cast speed reduction. So
Instant everything. Yeah, or one tick everything.
yeah, basically.
You can put Siren
So,
on her and then actually have
Yeah.
everything as instant.
Exactly. So again, hyper carry potential. Double quicken Glaciela.
We're good.
I don't think we see too many fire time mages besides Marguerite though, so probably not really gonna see her being double quicken.
Yeah.
At the best, like just being able to stack, fire party buffs or whatever. But yeah, I think she can still do pretty well.
Phoebe's like the
Especially with her-
substitute quickener for any element that doesn't have one. Like stick Phoebe on the team.
Right.
You hold this VC.
I mean, especially with her limit burst, just restoring AP. I think that's pretty good.
Then Locke, do you have any thoughts? Because I know you've been using her as well on your lower account, right?
Yeah, she is 107 now on my lower cannon. She probably will be my first 120 unit because Cloud works fine at 115 and I have no need to rush him. Yeah, I've been using her on her Scholar sub, and I have used her in class matches, not class matches, but like normal match battles here and there. But I mean, I don't have like good VCs for her. For Cloud, I do because I have his VC maxed out, so she doesn't do as much damage as I would like. Because she doesn't have the support stuff in place for that. But I do have the what is it that like the healing mace. So that gives Kurata. So like even on like Scholar stuff, she still has a way of healing with Kurata. Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much to say. Like she does a lot of damage, but at a lower level account with like not the best VCs, she does like a fraction of the damage Cloud does, which is obvious. So I can't really give too much of a like a good breakdown for her. But one of the things I was really interested in was that like no cast time way to run her with both the passives and then Siren as well. And Siren also gives 25% slash resist as well, and she has 5 naturally, so that brings it to 30. So I think that might be a fun build to play around with. That's what I was thinking. But yeah, we'll see. I don't expect her to do great things anytime soon because my account is not like I'm not gonna have the VCs like a maxed out any of the VCs for making her well for a while. So
I'm tempted to say just run her on White Mage then and support Cloud, because she still works as a healer.
It does.
It just sucks that she doesn't get the full life.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, but the way I have my account built up is that like so I have Aerith's TMR, which gives single target resistance, and Cloud has the AoE resistance. So the first turn, that's what she uses. So she uses the single target resistance on everyone, and then Aerith is like quickening Cloud, and so then to put in a protector shell
Oh,
in there, it kind of messes with with the turns. So
I think I missed the Aerith as the third unit.
yeah, so
Fair
Aerith, Cloud,
enough.
and her, and yeah, Aerith is already like healing and stuff, so I don't need yeah a healer.
I like it.
Mhm.
Sweet.
She's almost like a Black Rose or like a arithmetician at that point, with like instant cast like AoEs.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
She's a
pretty
you are
nice.
Mish. Or you are Mish.
Right. Um,
Except without
yeah,
reflex.
it's crazy.
Yeah, when she came out, I wasn't that crazy about her, to be honest. Like I was like, and obviously, like you compare her to whatever is already there, which is Black Rose now, which is like insane. So I wasn't that impressed. But then, as I'm playing this like second account, I don't want to build the exact same units I have on my first account. That doesn't make any sense. What's the point of that, right? And I pulled her, so I was like, I mean, I want to do a good review on her at some point, and like she seems interesting, so why not just go all out and I'm sure she can do stuff. Uh, I just need to actually, focus on her, and she'll be good at some point
At some point.
when I get
Fair.
the
Well
VCs
said.
to actually make her good.
I went up to her third step on her step up and then like 2 on her normal banner just to see what would happen. Didn't get her, so I'll probably have
That's rough.
to be one of those waiting on the slow roll. It's not like I'd be able to max her out now anyway. I have so many between like Barrett and who just like the Lasswell EX, the VC, just all that kind of stuff
Right.
building up. I've been kind of stuck on that, but
Yeah, so I did like something really dumb,
it's
I
really cool.
guess. Well, I
No,
mean, I
you
lucked out.
didn't.
I lucked out and got her on like those free pulls, and then after I had her, and then this is a new account that only has 6 of those Paradise Blossoms. So I was like, well, I need Paradise Blossoms. So then I pulled the night stuff, and I didn't get her like, an additional copy. I was like, maybe it'll be easier to build her if we get an additional copy, but 900 extra of those shards and a bunch of those Paradise Blossoms that I needed to actually work on 3 units at the same time. That's why I did that, but
Yeah, I got lucky
Nice.
pulling like the daily, like the paid 50. I pulled like 40 of her shards. I pulled a dupe of her, and that's like never happens. I never go for like just like the one summon. And so like I got that like on day 2, and so 40 more shards that helped push me to LB5 sooner than I was anticipating. So yeah, she's at like 115 just because I had like an excess of like extra large XP cubes, so I was just like 99 to 115. I want to use her in guild battles, so yeah, it's been really fun. I know, um, like for those of you guys that have been like kind of watching like or paying attention to like recent episodes, I've been just like all super excited, like, yeah, win the V team. And now it's like, yeah, fire magic team.
Yeah, right.
So I'm super excited and I can't hide it. But yeah, it's been a good time enjoying the progress on my account. So yeah, wind and fire are really standing out to me right now.
It's
I just
funny.
need
One of
earth,
them
earth,
crushes my
earth, wind,
team,
and
and one of
fire.
them I will destroy. It's like you get both ends of my
Yeah,
advantage.
yeah. I like the earth, wind, and fire reference. I don't know if you guys know the band.
Nice. No, yeah, yep. I wanna see if I can beat your fire team with an ice team.
Yeah.
Should
Good
do that.
luck.
Good
It's
luck. Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, it's just yeah, it's insane. Especially with like Summer Katone's like her upgraded buff where it's like it increases slash resistance as well as magic attack. Like she runs over like she her first turn like she goes first, she runs over, raises slash attack. King Mont starts bells and Glaciela starts with like either protect or shell. And it's just like yeah, it's a thing of beauty for me. I feel like we're kind of running long. I have some final thoughts, but I don't know if you guys have anything else to add.
Oh, final thoughts is
no,
good.
good, yeah.
Cool. So yeah, so we obviously we're talking about class match. I'm expecting it next week. If you guys don't remember from last time, or if we just haven't talked about it in a while, we're expecting total team cost 540 for Grand Season 2 CM1, as well as area resistance plus 30. The link to the map is in the PvP Discord in the class match channel. I don't know if we're going to include it in the description below or anything, but
Join the
yeah,
Discord.
well, it's the graveyard map that we've had access to already. So either like in free match or arena, or was it guild battle? I don't know. I can't remember. Sorry to keep them straight, but it's the most recent like graveyard one with like the stairs up, down, and stuff. So
I love that map.
yeah, it is interesting having the CM maps with like the height variations and stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how much people have practiced. I think it's definitely going to show how much people have practiced having access to the map as we have for as long as we have. Like the people that do better are probably doing better because they're more familiar with the map and any team that they've practiced with. So yeah, I just want to say good luck. Probably next time we see you, class match will have started, unless I'm way off base and like unless we don't get like a September class match or something, because we're not gonna get it the last Wednesday of the month. It's like the 29th or something. So really expecting to see it the 22nd next Wednesday. And yeah, I hope you guys have a team you're comfortable with. If not, you have time to practice. So yeah, good luck, and we'll see you on the flip side.
Just wait for it. It's gonna be the last day, or it's gonna be that 29th.
Jesus.
Just to get him.
You can't put it past them.
No, but yeah, yeah. Lock, anything wrap up with?
Nope. That's
all right. Sweet. We will see you next week. I've been Zach Bro.
I've been Dan Alone.
And I've been Luck.
We'll see you next time.